Good day, everyone. Meet the team, the Group 6, me, Domingo, Miss Ponce, Miss Torres Princess, and Miss Torres Queen. Hello, everyone. I am Chestilis Domingo. On my part, I will be discussing Unit 1, Contemporary Issues in Global Tourism. Tourism is one of the world's most dynamic industries, linking people, cultures, and economies. Yet, in today's globalized world, it also faces unprecedented challenges such as climate change, inequality, technological disruption, and health crisis. Unit 1 helps us understand that tourism reflects global change. It generates about 10% of the world's GDP, but this growth also brings vulnerability, economic dependence, and cultural loss, and environmental stress. The United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 8 and 12 remind us that tourism must promote decent work, responsible production, and sustainable consumption. According to the Global Code of Ethics for Tourism, particularly Articles 1 and 2, tourism should foster mutual understanding and contribute to sustainable development. As future tourism professionals, our task is to balance progress with responsibility, to ensure that the way we travel supports both people and the
Hello everyone, this is Ikea Ponce, and now I'll discuss the tourism and conflict. Tourism is a major driver of economic growth, cultural exchange, and social development, but it is very vulnerable to wars, terrorism, and political instability. Conflict reduce tourist arrival, damage infrastructure, and hurt local businesses. For example, Syria's tourist arrival fell from 8 million in 2010 to less than 1 million in 2015. In Libya, ongoing instability since 2011 has affected tourism despite its rich heritage. Tourism is also influenced by geopolitics. Travel restrictions, sanctions, and political tensions can redirect tourists to safer countries. This highlights the importance of resilient planning and diversifying tourism offerings. At the same time, tourism can help post-conflict recovery. It creates jobs, strengthens economies, and promotes reconciliation. Community-based tourism and heritage sites encourage dialogue and understanding. Rwanda used ecotourism and genocide memorial tourism after 1994 to rebuild its economy and promote social cohesion. Northern Ireland used cultural tourism after the Troubles, and Colombia's tourism has revived since the 2016 peace agreement. Ethics are important too, especially in dark tourism, to respect local communities and history. This unit connects to the UN Sustainable Development Goals, SDG 8 on economic growth, SDG 16 on peace and strong institution, and SDG 17 on partnership. For GCET students, understanding tourism in conflict-sensitive areas helps us plan strategies that are resilient, are responsible, and beneficial to communities. So in conclusion, tourism is both vulnerable to conflict and a tool for recovery. With careful planning, community engagement, and ethical practices, it can support economic revival, cultural preservation, and long-term peace.
Climate change stands as one of the most critical global challenges confronting the tourism industry today. As emphasized in Unit 3 of our module, tourism and climate change are deeply interconnected in a two-way relationship. Tourism is both highly vulnerable to and partly responsible for the changing climate. According to UNWTO and UNEP, the tourism sector contributes nearly 8% of global greenhouse gas emissions, largely from air transport, energy consumption in accommodations, and unsustainable consumption patterns. These emissions intensify global warming and directly endanger the natural and cultural assets upon which tourism depends. The effects of climate change are visible across multiple destination types. Coastal destinations face the rising sea level, stronger typhoons, and coastal erosion. Mountain regions experiences shorter snow seasons and changing ecosystems, while cultural heritage sites such as Venice and the Ifugao Rice Terraces face degradation due to flooding, landslide, and extreme weather events. To address these challenges, the module highlights the need for both mitigation and adaptation strategies. Mitigation involves reducing emissions through renewable energy use, eco-efficient transportation, and sustainable resource management, while adaptation includes developing resilient infrastructure, diversifying tourism activities, and engaging local communities in climate planning. Notable case studies include Chumbi Island in Zanzibar, which integrates coral reef conservation into its ecotourism operations, and Fiji's mangrove rehabilitation programs, which restore natural defenses against storms while supporting community livelihoods. These initiatives embody the spirit of the UN Sustainable Development Goals, or the SDG, particularly SDG 13, Climate Action, and SDG 14, Life Below Water, and SDG 15, Life on Land, all of which call for urgent, coordinated environmental protection. Moreover, Article 3 of the Global Code of Ethics for Tourism emphasizes that all tourism development should safeguard the environment and preserve natural heritage for present and future generations. This ethical principle reminds us that addressing climate change is not only a scientific or economic concern, but also a moral responsibility shared by every tourism stakeholder. Ultimately, the future of tourism depends on its ability to become climate smart, integrating low carbon innovations, sustainable practices, and community engagement to ensure that tourism contributes positively to both environmental stability and global well being.
So, for Unit 4, Biodiversity and Ecotourism. Biodiversity give us tourism. It's a heart that mountains we climb, the reefs we dive into, and the forest we explore. Yet, mass tourism often threatens these natural treasures through overdevelopment, pollutions, and wildlife disturbance. So, for Unit 4, it reminds us that sustainable tourism must conserve biodiversity and support local communities. So, like for example, such as Masongi Geo Reserve in the Philippines and Misol Eco Resort in Indonesia, shows that ecotourism can protect ecosystems while creating livelihoods. So, these efforts contribute to Sustainable Development Goals 11, Sustainable Cities and Communities. So, Sustainable Development Goals 15's Life of Land, and they embody articles 3 and 5 of GSET, calling for environment care and for sharing benefits with our host communities. So this ecotourism, true ecotourism, isn't about luxury. It's about stewardship, living destinations better than we found them. So as we conclude, the lessons from the Unit 1 to 4 lead us to one visions, tourism that uplifts people, protects the planet, and prosper ethically. So together, the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and the Global Code of Ethics guide us toward future where travel becomes not just privilege but a promise to care for our shared world.